Hello, my name is Hart, and this is my daily crypto journal. Every day I'll be going in depth on both Bitcoin and Ethereum to help you stay on top of things. So let's start off by looking at Bitcoin. As you can see here, this is the price action for this past year. We broke out in mid-December, breaking above 20K, and really it only took us about 2 months by late February to get to 60K. So about 2 months we tripled in price, which is pretty crazy fast. We set a couple more highs after that, but ever since then, since mid-April and into mid-May, we've been in this downturn and consolidating. So there might have been some signs that we need to take a break if we looked at the RSI chart, which is down here. So if we draw an arrow, you can see from this high here, the RSI was actually going down even as we were setting newer highs. So we're setting new high prices up here, but the RSI is actually going lower. So that divergence might have been a sign that we were due for a break or a correction here. And that's what happened. Mid-May, it took us 9 days to go down 50%. So we went all the way down into this zone here. And ever since then, we spent about 2 months consolidating in a range between, say, 29,000 and 41,000. So quite a long time of consolidation here. But let's take a look at the hourly chart to see kind of where we are at this moment within this consolidation box. So here we are in the hourly. You can see we've been in this falling wedge pattern. Those yellow lines here, we're stepping down slowly within it. But then in the last 24 hours, we broke out. And the target of a breakout on a falling wedge is the top of the wedge up here. And as you can see, we actually met that price perfectly, and we did it really quickly. It's kind of rare that it happens within 24 hours, and we did it much less than 24 hours. So this has been a really nice, clean breakout and shows a lot of bullish energy, which is actually a nice change of pace, because if we go back in time here on the hourly chart, you can see we've been in a series of these falling and rising wedge patterns. Fall, then a rising wedge, falling wedge, rising wedge. But more recently, when we've broken out from these falling wedges, when we should be going up to the top, we've only been going half or 3/4 of the way up. So the bullish energy just hasn't been there for any of these more recent breakouts. So it's nice to see finally with one of these falling wedges we've met or even exceeded the price point for the breakout. So TBD as to where we're going to go from here now that we've met the target price here, whether we're going to go up or down, because we're still, again, in this middle of this giant consolidation pattern here, and at all costs we want to avoid going south of this solid support line around the 29K level. So overall, a great day for Bitcoin, good reversal, but it's really too soon to say whether this is something that's going to lead to a much higher price level, or we're just going to sort of trace back down lower again. So, but a good day for Bitcoin. So let's take a look at Ethereum's price action for this year. You can see some of the major milestones here, but basically after setting an all-time high in February 2nd, we zigzagged higher until we had this really huge run-up of 125% in about 3 weeks, taking us all the way over $4,000. Unfortunately, almost as quickly, we dropped down 61% before settling into this consolidation pattern, which we've been in now for a couple of months. But let's zoom in and look at the 4-hour chart to see kind of where we are right now. So since around July 8th, we've been in this falling wedge pattern. You can see lower highs, lower lows. This cloud here is just the EMA ribbon. So it's red because it's negative, meaning that it's flipped. The 20 EMA is here and the 50 EMA is up here, whereas green means that it's a positive EMA. The 20 EMA is up top and the 50 is at the bottom. So you can see around this point we flipped negative, kind of at the top of this rising wedge. But the good news is we're just now starting to break out from this falling wedge. Or are we? It looks like we're just sort of testing to making sure that this is going to be a valid breakout. We're testing the top of the support line here. So assuming this does confirm when we go higher, the target of this breakout would be all the way up here around $2,170. So TBD if we actually have the momentum to continue with this breakout or not. Ethereum's been definitely pretty weak when it has broken out over the last few weeks. So I don't know if it's going to have the energy to do it or if we'll just collapse back into here. But based on the bullishness we've seen with Bitcoin, it seems more likely that we will at least have some upward movement here to try to reach these levels. But let's watch that over the next day or so. But looking at this 4-hour chart, you can see that, again, we've been pretty much in this kind of winding step down pattern. So what we want to watch, though, is we don't fall any lower than this around $1,700 mark, because that's, as you can see, this has been solid support for us during this consolidation zone. To fall below it might mean a much bigger drop. Likewise, the $2,900 level is where we need to see price ultimately rise above if we want to resume any kind of true bull market here. So overall, I'd say Ethereum is looking slightly weaker than Bitcoin at comparing these two charts. But if Ethereum can approach the target of this falling wedge breakout, then that'd be a very bullish sign for Ethereum, and I'll be looking for that. So the last thing to talk about is the fear and greed indicator for crypto. This is a market sentiment indicator. And basically it's telling you what the market is feeling about crypto at any given point in time. And this is updated once per day. Last night we clocked in at a really low 10, which represents extreme fear. So keep in mind, though, this is a contrarian indicator. So when you have a low number or extreme fear, that could mean that it's a really good opportunity. Conversely, if you have a really high score indicating a lot of greed, that might mean we're due for a correction. So anyway, it played out really well last night because we had this really low score, and what do you know, the next day we had a nice little rally. And hopefully both Bitcoin and Ethereum can continue on the bullish side tomorrow. Let's see what happens. Either way, though, I want to thank you for joining me on my very first video here on this channel. And if you did like this video, please do give me a like, and I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and get notifications as well. And I will see you all again tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.